Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So I'm making this cute little feel better card today to help put a smile on someone's face. So if you want to see how I made it, then just keep watching. Alright, so this is seriously one of the simplest cards ever, but I love it because it is so simple. So I made it for my auntie and it's a whole reason actually I had to get this stamp set. So this is the Get Well Before and Afters from Fawn. I didn't have them and I made this card and then I decided I needed to have them. So I'm grabbing two things from this stamp set. I'm getting the little turtle who's on his shell, so he's upside down. And I'm also getting this absolutely adorable little band-aid. So I'm going to stamp them out on just a bit of Express It blending card. This is obviously one I've already used, but I always keep, like if I don't use the whole thing, I like to keep them so that I can use the offcuts for this exact reason. So I'm just grabbing the turtle and the band-aid, just putting them on there. And then I'm just going to colour these in with my Copics. There's not going to be anything particularly special to this one. So I'm going to start with a collection of greens. I'm just going to put the lid back on my ink. So I want to use two different kind of shade families. I'm not sure if this is going to work. What I always do, if I'm not 100% sure on the colour from the outside of the marker, I just put it down in the corner of my paper. That way I can kind of work out if they are the right colours or if I need to change up a colour. That's not the right green. So we try another green. That's not the right green either. That might be the right green. So I'm going to do the turtle and we're going to do his shell one colour and then his skin, for want of a better word, another colour. So I'm going to do that's going to be his actual skin. So I'm going to put YG06 down first. That's going to be sort of his head and feet colour and his tail. So just putting that on there as the darker colour. And then going in with the YG03 and just kind of blending that together. The YG03 is a little bit more, it's not as vibrant a green like it looks at here, but it doesn't go down as vibrant. It kind of blends that YG06 out really nicely. You'll be able to see it really well here on the head. So just pulling that colour from kind of where the shadow would be, which would be underneath the top of the shell. And then just putting that together. There we go. And then for the shell, actually I might need to pull in another colour. I might just go back to that YG963, which was the first one I had. And just use that for the dark sort of bits of the shell, because we do want this to look rounded. So that's going in right at the ends. Bring in the we'll bring in the G24 and blend those together. There we go, that's what I wanted. See how it kind of got that dark bit on the edge, so it looks a little bit more shell-like. And then you do the very same thing with the two dark greens here for the stripes here. And then I'll use this green and I might bring that G14 in to do the actual shell. So we'll put the dark bits on the outside and then we'll blend into the middle. I'm trying to remember to put them here and I forget a lot, so I'm really sorry. I'll try and list all the numbers or on the screen or down below. Go. And then for the actual sort of shell bit, I just like to go around the edge with the dark and then blend it with the lighter one. So it sort of ends up being three different shades of green to get this turtle. But he still looks pretty cute. He's got a little bit of a bleed happening underneath his chin, but I'll show you an easy way to fix that a little bit later. So for the band-aid, I want like a light a light browny kind of colour. So I'm just going to see, but I still want it to sort of look a little bit orange. Because to me, Band-Aids are orange. An orangey brown. Alright, so I'm going to go with this one. So this is E13, which is light suntan. And just putting that on the edge of the Band-Aid. And then we'll blend it out with E21. And I'm just going to put the light suntan back in the middle so it stays that darker brown in the middle. And rather than blending it with another colour, I'm just going to give it a second and then go back over with a top coat so it makes it a little bit darker. And then wait a second. So you're waiting for the alcohol to dry and then going back in with like a third coat. So now that's got 3 coats and it looks just a little bit darker. Alright, there we've got our little turtle and the little Band-Aid. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out with the dies and I'll be right back. There they are. Oh my god, they are so cute. So cute. And then just to fix this little bleed and also to add a little accent to him. So I'm just going to go in with my white jelly roll pen and just kind of straighten that up so it doesn't look quite as blurry. I'm trying to think of the right word there. And I'm also just going to add a couple of little highlights to him just to give him a bit of something. And a little one for the Band-Aid. I don't know why I did that for the Band-Aid, but anyway. So, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some letters. So this is going to be really simple, but it's going to look really awesome. So the little turtle's going to sit there with the Band-Aid on like that. Oh, he's so cute. So I'm going to grab a bit of plain white cardboard. So this is just straight out of, I just use plain white stuff, nothing fancy here. Then I'm going to grab these. These are Finley's ABCs. And they're a new set of dies that I've just got. And I'm going to spell out feel better. And I'm just looking going, yeah, I'm going to need that. I've been playing with another card for a friend with some twins. So I've got the twins set together, but that's all right. So I'm going to do the feel better. And I'm going to cut the feel better out of the cardboard. And I'm going to cut it out twice just out of plain white cardboard. So I'm obviously going to have to run this through a couple of times just to get all my letters because there's obviously doubles of some. Just sticking them or lining them up. F-E-E-L-B-E-T-T-E-R. Oh god, they're going to go through a lot because there's only 6 letters. So I'm just stick that down on the cardboard, run these through till I've got all my letters, and then we're going to do the same thing through some coloured paper from the Let's Poker in the Meadow, and I think I'm going to use this dark or the black the little black polka dots, but I'll work that out afterwards. So I'll go ahead and cut all these out and I'll be right back. So what I might do is I might assemble these first and then work on what colour I'm going to use because I can then assemble the card and work out exactly which colour. So I'm just grabbing my Tombow glue. I was trying to find, there it is. I've also recently got the Lawn Fawn glue tube, which I'm experimenting with. I like them both. They both have a really fine nib, which is really good for doing these kind of things. So what I'm doing here is I'm stacking the letters together to give them some height. And that way they look really cool on the card. And they become sort of like, especially for a really simple card like this one that's really only got one image to it, it sort of becomes that extra thing. So it's a little bit difficult. Definitely don't recommend doing this with glue tape because it's really hard to get them to line up properly. But that's why we didn't need to use any particularly fancy kind of cardboard or anything to do this. We can just seriously do that. Put them together, glue it together, and then I sort of put something over the top so that it's got some weight to it while it's drying. So I'm going to go ahead and glue all of these together. It will take me a little bit and I'll be right back. Okay, so while those are all drying, we'll move on to actually getting the card sorted out. So I want to have 2 things on here. I want to have a bottom that kind of looks like a hill but that's not. I want to have like a green speckly background. Now I could be me and I could make it myself, or I could just use this absolutely gorgeous paper which just saves a lot of time. So I think I have some green that I've already used. Obviously I've already used all the green, pink, yellow. So I want the white with the green speckle. So I'm just going to grab this one out. It'll come out of the book. This one's already already had a little bit of damage to it, but that's okay. And then I'm going to grab this one, which is the Poker in the Meadow one, and I want the yellow. I want this to be a really bright, happy kind of card because it is trying to make someone feel better. So that's sort of the aim with it. I think the yellow, there it is. Now I could do the polka dots, or I could do the hearts, but I think I'm going to do the stripe. I think the stripe's really cool, and that'll look nice. So that's going to be at the bottom of our card, and that's going to kind of be the background, and we're going to build it all as a little square. So this is obviously too big, so I think I'll do it, where's my ruler? What am I doing? I have a bloody ruler on here. I think I'll do it a 4x4, like a 4" by 4" card, which is like 10 by 10. I think that's a safe place to do it. So I'm going to cut the white bit, sorry, the white bit. I'm going to cut the yellow bit to I'm going to do it 10 centimeters because I can. Let's stay in Australian, shall we? That's why that's not working. My board's been really annoying the last couple of days and I couldn't work out why, and that's why. It's not in the hole properly. So line it up at the 10, and we'll do a 10 by 10 square. And the only trick to this is then making sure that my feel better fits, because we might have to make it bigger. So it's only really the better because the feel's obviously a lot bigger. So as long as that fits across the 10, that's all that matters. Yeah, that'll fit. Yeah, great, that fits nicely. So it'll be, actually, it might not be high enough. Which if that's the case, I'm not gonna try and fix it, as in not gonna waste the paper. I'm just going to use the green bit to kind of make that bottom. So we'll still leave it as a 10 centimeter wide. So I'm going to cut this to 10. I am going to use those black polka dots. So they sort of fit together. I'm going to grab this bit of grey cardboard because I do want there to be some contrast here. I don't want it to be all bright. We'll cut this to 11 and we'll make it a top folding card, so I only have to cut this once. Okay. And then that will be, that's just over 30. I'm just going to fold it. Just going to fold it straight in half. You can obviously get the score tool out. I'm just really lazy and can't bother. So just line that up. Fold it. I will get the score tool out or something. So just reinforce that fold. And this is then the base that we're going to work on here. So yellow will go there. Measure how tall that is and just have it overhanging it just a little bit. So that's, I'm going to cut it to 6. And then I'm going to run it through the die machine because I do want to just add an edge on this. So we want to put the 6 on first. And just to make it a little bit fancy, I'm grabbing my stitched borders, and I've got the normal stitching, but I've also got this really cute cross stitch design that I really like. So I'm going to put that on the top, and that's just going to sort of differentiate them a little bit more. So this is not a cutting die, it's just like a, what's the word I want? Not perforation, but it's just it'll just add the effect into it, but it's not going to cut anything. So I've just stuck that down with the washi, ran that through the machine. See, it just adds that little detail. I hope you can see. It's very cool. All right, let's start assembling this one. So I'm going to stick, this is where I move on to my glue tape because it's easier. So I'll put the glue tape down first. I'll put the edge with the glue tape on first. I know what I'm trying to say, just nobody else does. I'm just trying to make that as straight as I can. Just get a little bit of glue tape on there. Well, that's not even close to straight. So thankfully I haven't pushed that down a lot yet. And then we'll put the green over the top. And that'll make our kind of background that we're going to work on. Okay. actually think that's a little too high. A little too low, sorry. I'm just going to make it where I want it. I'll just cut off the excess in a sec. There we go. We'll just grab the board back in and just cut that off. So because I'm going through 2 layers here, I just have to push a little bit harder. Perfect. Cool. So then we can work on the feel better bit. So the turtle can sit, come here, thank you. So the turtle's going to sit just there. He's going to have the band-aid. And then the feel better is going to go at the top. But I'm a little worried now that maybe I should put some at the bottom because there seems to be a lot more room down there. So maybe I should do feel and then better at the bottom. Oh, I got a good idea. Whoops, I can't spell better apparently. So I'm going to cut these out in black and I'm going to make these up and then we can put them all together and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Now we can actually start assembling this little cutie. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of the band-aid and just stick that on, but then I'm going to put the actual turtle up on glued on foam tape. So you've got a little band-aid on. So something wrong with you. Then I'm just going to grab a little bit of foam tape. Don't need too much here because it's just going to sit just one layer up. Just stick that on there. And then remove the backing on this one and then we can just start working out those letters. So the turtle's the star of the show in that he's the center of the card, but he's not necessarily the be all and end all. So I'm just using my grid lines on my mat to work out that that's in the center. I think he is. Then we'll get all the dots, all the letters. We'll just pick these up. Because these have got some height to them as well. They feel really cool, but they look like they belong on the card. And then they become a bit of a fancy thing to it as well. So I've got feel better. Oops, can't spell. Not beta, better. My fingers still are a little bit sticky. Now what I was thinking was I might do like a hope you feel better on the top. I don't think it needs it. I think it's good the way it is. Just with the feel better with the spots. Because they are so bold, I don't think you really need it. So my little trick for getting these in a straight line, line them up on your mat, whether you're using a glass mat or a normal cutting mat, it doesn't matter. But line it up on the mat first. That way you've got your line straight. This T does not like me. Or actually he probably likes me too much because it keeps getting stuck to me. Oops, I missed out an E. It's a good thing I can spell. Just make sure that's the way I want it to look. Grab yourself some washi tape. Just because I'm a bit paranoid, I'm just going to take off some of the tack just by running it on my clothes. And then pick it up with the washi. And that way it's going to be in the straight line when you put it down. So you stick it down as one bit. So I'm doing the same thing with the feel. Like the fact even that the white of the cardboard from behind is kind of peeking through just a little bit. Kind of gives it a shadow effect. But because there's already just the grey with the white, it kind of doesn't look, all the black with the white, it doesn't look silly. Pick that up. It doesn't have to be 100% in a straight line. So we'll get feel better. Just working out where I want it. I'm really tossing up with having the hope you at the top. Just as something little. This is where I grab my stamps back out and just have a look at that hope you bit. Oh, I thought I had a hope you. Whoops. Oh, here it is. I've got hope your. No, I'm going to use the hope you as well. So I'm going to stamp that first. I'm just going to use my normal Memento ink because I've already got it out. And this is just a little bit of selective inking. So just grab out a little bit of washi again. And then we can just glue the feel better down. Apparently he wants to get out. He's not. So this is a really good way to do it with the washi because it means I'm not getting my fingers anywhere near the glue because the washi's holding it still. So make sure this is all right. Go and then just stick that down. I'm going to grab that block that we just used, which is clean. Worst thing in the world is when you put down a block on top of a perfect card and it's got ink on it. It's the worst thing. Whoops. Now I didn't flip off the Lawn Fawn for any particular reason. I just wanted to give the other one a go just to see which one I liked better. I like them both for different reasons. The Lawn Fawn has a finer tip, I think, but I get a better flow out of the Tombow glue, so that's sort of why I moved over to it, because I'm trying to go a bit faster. Now the good thing is, whoops, I've just played with that too much and he's come off. The good thing is, because this is liquid glue, I have some time if these aren't quite in the right spot to kind of wiggle them around. So that is always a good thing. So just push them down. I'm just going to pull this up very, 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 very gently. Oh, that's so cute. Do the same thing with this one. There's a little bit of glue kind of coming out the side, which I'll fix in a sec. So I'll get the T, because the other two are already perfectly lined up, it makes it really easy to do this one. Go. And then just a little bit of glue that's down the side here, I just grab my tweezers and just run it, which picks up the excess glue, and then you just wipe it off on the cloth. And there we have it. Now you can either put a sentiment on the inside or you can leave it as it is. I'm just going to do a really quick one that's just wishing you a fast recovery. I'm just going to use my block for that. Wishing you a fast recovery. And this is where I actually like it to be not quite perfect, because we've lined the front up really well. A little bit in here that's not quite perfect is actually really fun. So these are kind of off straight just a little bit. So cute. I'm just debating whether, no, I could put a turtle in there as well, like a better turtle. So then you've got your sick turtle on the outside and your better turtle on the inside. But I think I'll leave it. I think I'll just have it like that. So there we go. There's my little get well card that's using letters as more of the focal as opposed to using an actual character. I love doing scene cards. I love having so many of the cute little animals, but sometimes it's just nice to have something, when I say simple, this definitely wasn't simple, but something that looks a lot simpler and a lot cleaner and really helps you get your message across in the easiest possible way. So I hope you did enjoy this one. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to be subscribed to my channel. I'd love to hear if you guys make get well cards for people and maybe what you use. If it's more of a fun kind of, I hope you feel better and you do it all cheery, or if it's a bit more of a with sympathy kind of one. Don't forget to be subscribed to my channel and to follow me on all of my social medias for other kinds of cards that I do make. If you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. You can leave them below or on my socials. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, whatever you're doing, and I will see you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles!